What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hammerdown Motorsports. Today, behind me, we have our 2019 Ram Rebel with a whole bunch of mods that we've done on the channel, and we have our basically stock 2023 Ford Raptor. So, in this video, after owning both of these trucks, I have the Raptor almost a year. I've had the Rebel almost 5 years, be 5 years in October. So, I have a little bit of experience with both of these trucks and living with them, kind of daily driving them with them, towing with them, all that kind of stuff. And what are my 5 favorite things about each truck that is better than the other. All right, so getting a good look at both of these trucks, and I absolutely love both of these trucks. I will just come out and say that right in the beginning, but we're going to consider the first thing that probably people are more or less looking at when they're looking to buy either a Raptor or a Rebel, and that is going to be price. And price I'm going to have to give to the Rebel because I paid $55,000 in the end of 2019 for this truck before everything went crazy with the car market. And in 2023, which was not a great time to buy vehicles, the Raptor was north of $88,000. So yeah, so definitely for price, I'm going to go with the Rebel. All right, so with our Rebel, obviously this is not stock. We've done a lot of things over the time of ownership. I did a suspension lift, I did wheels, tires, exhaust, a bunch of vinyl work, a little bit of paint work, and some interior mods, and a whole lot of stuff. But it did start out as a Rebel 12, so a fairly well loaded up truck. I think I'm only missing the radar cruise control and the air suspension as far as options go. And our Ford Raptor is an 801A package, so it does have a lot of standard features, but it's not a Raptor it's not, and there is a couple little things that it is missing as well with just the regular Raptor package, but they are fairly comparable if you want to talk about just like as far as options go and what you're going to expect from the dealership. So the second thing on our list is going to be suspension, and I'm going to have to give that to the Raptor all day. The Raptor stock suspension beats the Rebel stock suspension 110%. The rough country setup that we do have on this is a lot better than stock. Obviously with the 6-inch lift, you can do bigger tires, all of that. There is adjustments on all of them, so you can tune the suspension, but the Raptor is just so much easier. It's right on the steering wheel. You push a little button if you want it softer, or whatever mode you're in is gonna dynamically change that shock. And this thing absolutely rides awesome down the highway. It's basically like having a Cadillac truck that does off-road and all of that, which is 100% a reason to get a Raptor, is that awesome Fox suspension. Number 3, we have engine. Now in our Raptor, we have a 3.5 liter twin turbo EcoBoost, and in the Rebel, we have a 5.7 liter non-e-torque pure Hemi power, and we're running a little less horsepower with the Hemi, obviously being naturally aspirated, and we do have the boost on our V6. So there is a couple of things that are considered with that. Obviously this one is a lot more power than this one, but this one sounds so much better than the V6. And the V6 on this does sound good. It has more or less that GTR type sound with the twin turbos, and we also added the blow-off valve, which helps a lot. But the sound isn't bad with these, not like the previous generation where everybody really hated the way they sounded. But you gotta admit, the V8 just sounds better. So I'm gonna say sound is gonna go to the Rebel, and performance is definitely gonna go to the Raptor. Number 4 is going to be features, and that's just features that you get from the factory that make the truck unique and just kind of things that you really do like on a daily basis. The Raptor, the one thing I really do like about it is the headlights. They do turn with the wheel as you're driving, so if you have a spot where you can't see and you're turning, the headlights actually turn with the wheel, which is really, really cool. And also with the high beams, when you have the automatic high beams go on and off, it doesn't just flash on and off. It will actually just kind of slowly come back on, which is really nice on the eyes at night. I know my wife's Jaguar has that, and I really like that. I was really happy to see that this truck had it as well. With the Rebel, we do have the LED headlights, which everybody complains about when they're giving me the brights, and then I give them my real brights and they realize they made a mistake. But we do have the fog lights in the bottom, which are also LED. When you turn the wheel, you will have a fog light on either side come on to kind of give you a little bit of a ditch light, which is nice as well. On our Rebel, we do have very nice leather seats. They have nice bolstering. There is a bit of vinyl in here as well. They are perforated, but they are not cooled. The front have heat. The rear are just standard, do not have any heat or cooling. Unfortunately, in this year of Rebel, they did not have auxiliary switches, so I did add them. And we do have our Switch Pros right down in here where I can put my accessories with a solid state device under the hood, and we can run all of our ditch lights and rock lights and reverse lights and all of that. But you do not get it standard, so we can't really include that. But we do have a heated steering wheel. Going down the back here, we do have our little storage compartments here in the floor, which are very nice. If you go underneath the seat, we do have this little kind of section under here where you can store stuff so it doesn't roll around. Also very nice to have. We have a very large cab, which the Rebel is actually a little bit bigger than the Raptor, which is nice as well. One thing with our seats though, they don't lock. So if you hit the brakes and you have the seat up, that will flop down. That's one thing that is a bit of a pet peeve of mine. And over here on the back, we do have the Ram boxes, which are very nice. They have lights inside. They have a power plug on the other side that you can plug things into. They are drainable. You can fill them with ice if you want. I have my kinetic rope in here, my jack, my snow brush, and all kinds of things, just that they're not rolling around in the cab of the truck, which is nice. And we have one on either side, so we can fill it up with all the stuff that we want to drag around with us everywhere we go. And in the back, we still have enough room for a 4x8 sheet of plywood. So you lose what's on that little section on either side of the wheel well. And I don't really think that's something that I really care about at all. So I gotta say, when it comes to storage and just handy places to put things for your day-to-day life with your truck, the Rebel definitely has the Raptor beat in that department. But we do have something that we're gonna be adding to the Rebel that's gonna help with that. But I gotta say, they really need to work on their factory storage on these trucks because there isn't a whole lot of it. But one thing that the Raptor does have is this little beep. Kind of sounds Toyota-y a little bit. Got my cotton candy machine in the back there still. Tailgate goes down with the remote, and they always ask, does it go back up? And there it goes. And I know the comments, any real man can use a tailgate. Well, you can use it either way, but isn't it nice to have the little button? Another unique feature, which is more of a Ford thing, is this little panel right here. So you can actually punch in a code, and you can change the code if you want to, but it comes with a little card that says what the code is when you first buy one of these. And you can just punch in that code. You can unlock your doors, which is really, really nice because if you don't need to have your key with you. I mean, you can use the app, which both trucks have the app. But yeah, I've never actually set the app up on the Ram because the dealership I went to never set it up. I didn't even know I had it till like a year afterwards, and I lived without it for that long, so I just didn't even bother with it. But you can use your Ford Pass app to unlock the truck as well if you have your phone with you, but it is nice to have that little panel just in case. So part of driving a big truck is, well, you are limited in your visibility, especially the higher you go, the less you can see in front of the truck. Now, the Raptor has the front camera. It has cameras in the mirrors. There's one in the bed. There's one in the back. And on the Rebel, there is only the one on the tailgate, and sometimes it leaves the chat. So definitely the camera system on the Raptor is a whole lot better. So yes, the camera system on the Rebel sucks, but there's also something that sucks about our Raptor, and that is when you get inside, you see this beautiful steering wheel with the red stripe and all of that, and then you look down over here and you see the big spot for your heated seats, which means they're missing a button, which is our heated steering wheel. So from what I know, this steering wheel is actually a heated steering wheel. There should be a little wire in there, but what you have to do is actually change the module behind the steering wheel, run a wire to the fuse panel and all of that, and you have to get this piece here. It's like $500 and some to be able to add a heated steering wheel on your $90,000 truck because they were short on chips or modules or something like that, and they just cut it out of the truck and gave you like a couple $100 off MSRP, which is absolutely laughable because everybody would rather have that heated steering wheel all day long. I don't know why, but that is something that I do not like about the fact that it doesn't have that. So when it's cold out, I drive my Rebel because it has a heated steering wheel. Also, the display on the Raptor is pretty awesome. You can see, if I can open the door here, we have all the animations, Ford Performance. We have it turn around and do all kinds of crazy things. close the door here. Maybe it'll show us some more stuff. It usually says Raptor across it, and it's got some cool new things that are more or less new truck things. And I know the Ram has updated their stuff since I got my truck, but this is just kind of my comparison of my two trucks. And one thing I gotta say about the four-wheel drive system is it has the locker, but you can't use the locker in two-wheel drive, and on the Rebel you can. But one thing that is cool about the Ford, although I don't like the feel of this plasticky shifter, we do have this where you can flip open and have a big desk area or a place to eat your lunch if you want to eat in your truck. It really does have this really good workstation that you can just kind of flip back over, push the button on your shifter, and it comes back up, and all that is kind of cool. And then in the Rebel, it's a little more dated with the analog gauges, which I don't mind. I really like the red trim inside these. We have our big screen, but our center console is a little different. We do have the rotary shifter in this truck, and we do have this tray that slides back and forth, which is really cool. You can collect all kinds of things, and you have all that room all the way back to there to fill with junk. Also, we do, in the 2019, have a CD player, which is pretty cool, and they did discontinue that in the newer trucks. But one thing that maybe you probably didn't even notice about your Rebel is this little slot that goes across here. That's actually a tablet holder. If you take an iPad, it slides right in there and your kids can watch shows in the back, which is pretty cool. So on our little panel right here, I'll kind of turn this to run. Turn that on. And we're going to turn on auxiliary 1. You can see, there we go. It's actually kind of hard to see in the daytime, but I have all the ambient lighting that I had to put in all the doors. I did a video on this. I ripped all the doors apart, and I even put them in the sides here on the center console. So we do have some ambient lighting in the truck. It's in blue right now, but you can change the colors on it. But there's no factory ambient lighting in the Rebels, and there's also no cooled front seats. And they had all that in the Laramie, and I really don't know why they cut it out of a truck that actually costs more than the Laramie. So now as far as seat comfort goes, another thing that they cut out of the Rebel was the reclining rear seats that the Laramies actually have. They actually slide forward and you get a little bit of recline in the back, which is pretty cool. I really miss that about my Laramie, but you can see the seats are very nice. My kids have all kinds of sunscreen and stuff. This is kind of the truck that we use when we take the boat out, and yeah, it definitely needs a detail. But if we lift up the seat in the Ford, first of all, you'll find that it locks, which is really nice because sometimes I'd have the dog in the back of the truck and it would scare the daylights out of him when the seat would fly forward on a deceleration. So we do have the locking seats, which is really nice. I think Ram should definitely take a page out of Ford's book on that. And my truck in particular does not have the little kind of tray underneath, which on this truck I really don't care. I don't miss it at all. It has this huge space in here, and when I get groceries, I'll lift that seat up and I'll have this huge flat floor to put all my groceries in. It's really easy to get stuff in and out of, and then you get the bigger mat as well. So after we went down the rabbit hole with all the different things I showed you on either truck, I would say factory features is just gonna kind of be a draw, because there is stuff I really like that the Rebel has that the Raptor doesn't, and there's stuff I really like that the Raptor has that the Rebel doesn't, but the Rebel costs a lot less, so maybe it might be leaning more towards that. But if Ford would have put a heated steering wheel in this truck and actually made that not be my problem to make that work, I think it would definitely have leaned towards the Raptor, but there's also that price to consider. And I know this was an option, but I do have them, is the liners on the inside of the wheel wells on our Rebel and on our $90,000 Raptor. Well, we just got a painted surface. We don't have anything in there, which has always bothered me, to be honest. So number 5 is ownership experience. That starts right from seeing the truck for the first time, the sales experience, the service experience, the first warranty claim, all of those kinds of things with each truck. And I can say without a doubt, the Ford won out 110% with that one. When I first got my truck home, there was an issue. I had one of this little trim piece on the door. It looks like somebody hit it with a pressure washer on the passenger side. And I called them, and no problem. Within 2 days, they had it all fixed up. No problem. I drove the truck down there, and 20 minutes they had it installed, and it was all good to go. No questions asked. When I've bought Rams in the past, there was some paint issues, and they wanted nothing to do with me. They wouldn't fix it. They wouldn't do anything at all. And honestly, I'm very turned off of Ram after buying this truck. This truck has been a great truck as far as it itself. It's just that there was some clunking issues, which a lot of people had in the beginning. And after I put the lift kit on, I didn't hear that anymore. So obviously whatever was going on, we removed, and that was that. But I wasted days taking this truck to the dealership and they absolutely fixed nothing. Their courtesy car was a complete piece of crap and their attitude was terrible. And as I said, like they didn't even set up my radio for the truck, for the app or any of that. They didn't even take the radio out of the demo mode. So the guy just couldn't have cared less. And as soon as I brought up any issues to me, he was very just kind of didn't care and had his money and walked off. So definitely never buying another Ram truck from that dealership. I mean, I've been in there to buy filters afterwards, and I think everybody got fired that worked there that when I bought this truck, which is kind of suiting, but at the same time, that was my experience and I got to speak on that. And I just don't feel that Ram cares nearly as much about their customers as I found that Ford did. And anything I needed fixed, Ford was very, very quick to get me in there. They cared. You could just tell when you said you had a problem, they were very interested in getting it sorted for you as quickly as possible and keeping you a happy customer. Not to mention, if you buy a Raptor, I mean, it is expensive, but you do get the driving school included with that. So you can go to Raptor Assault. It's in Utah. You got to cover your flight and all that, but you get to go to a $1,400 one-day driving school. It comes with a dinner, all that kind of stuff, and you get to go beat on their Raptors. So you don't have to bring your own out. You can drive theirs, and you get to go have fun with them. They'll show you all the different capabilities of the truck, which I'm actually going to in April. So I can't wait to try that experience, and I'm going to be sharing it with you guys as well. But that definitely makes you feel special buying one of these trucks. And with the Rebel, I get it's not a TRX, but they didn't have the TRX back then. This is kind of was it back then. And I gotta say, I just felt a lot more special buying the Raptor. So there it is, everybody, our little comparison between our Raptor and our Rebel. Drop in the comments, what is the one that you would choose? What are some of the reasons why you would choose it? And did I miss anything? Is there any reason why you should choose either one for whatever reason? I mean, obviously there's a lot to consider, but they are very, very awesome trucks, each in their own way. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And as always, keep that hammer down.